Let's talk about pre-orders. And by the way, this entire video is me complaining and ripping on the industry for having idiotic practices nowadays. If you don't like that, you can go ahead and f off. Okay, pre-orders. Simple, right? Pre-order a game, have it on launch day, maybe pre-installed, maybe a bonus or two, and it sounds pretty good, right? Well, wrong. I'm making this video because the next two big upcoming releases I intend to cover are Anthem and Division 2, and they both have their heads so far up their ass you need a chart to decipher what you will get and when, for how much, on what platform, with what service. Let's take the lesser of two evils first, and that is Anthem. This chart appeared recently showing the two pre-order versions and when you will get access from your pre-order. It's no surprise that the standard edition gets shafted. They can play on the 22nd because those lowly plebs only paid full price, so f them. But then you have the Legion of Dawn edition, a hefty chunk more expensive, mind you, but they also only get access on the 22nd because reasons. The chart also does not say what else is included to even make the Legion of Dawn edition worth it, but in the end it's just some cosmetics, so whatever, I'll gloss over that part. Then we get to the EA access, which is only on Xbox One. If you have this, you can play 10 hours of the game between February 15th and the 22nd. Cool, right? And there is also a PC equivalent as well called Origin, which is the same result. Question, what happens to PS4 users? Never mind, f them too. Now we move to the Origin Access Premier version. With this bad boy on PC only, you get the full game on the 15th, not just 10 hours, the whole thing, but just for PC. It's a pretty obvious attempt to spike their Origin launcher subscription numbers, and I hate that I'm even saying this, but this chart is not even close to as bad as our next one. At the very least, there are two simple versions, the Standard Edition and the Legion of Dawn Edition. If you have the money and you just want some cosmetics, order the Legion of Dawn. Otherwise, Standard is basically the same thing. But when it comes to the early access and the 10 hours and which platform, enough is enough. Just launch the game when you launch the game. And if you must have early access, make it simple. A couple days early for everyone if they meet X, Y, and Z criteria. Personally, I disapprove completely of selling early access in any capacity, but it's pretty clear this is a practice that is here to stay, so at the very least, stop making it confusing and a total mess, dear lord. But never fear, now we get to Division 2, which is basically the pinnacle of convoluted pre-orders in the entire industry right now. This is the Ubisoft store. The chart we see right here displays what is in what version. Again, Standard Edition has the least, as expected, but when you start to really look at this stuff, it makes zero sense. The Tommy Teddy Bear ULC, which is a PC Ubisoft Store exclusive edition, is in the Gold Edition, but not the Gold Steelback Edition. A whole bunch of cosmetic packs and physical merchandise pieces are included in the higher editions with 3-day early access for everyone except the Standard Edition, but it does not tell you what's in any of the packs. And furthermore, this is the best part, if you go into the Ultimate Edition and go all the way down to features, you see things like additional stash space, which is not even mentioned as a bonus on their original chart, but it's a huge deal in a looter shooter. In fact, go into any of the editions and you will see a bunch of different descriptive items than what is shown on the original chart. And the entire thing is a total and complete mess. Half of them are riddled with terms like "and additional features" or "additional content" and no further info, and the pictures they used to have displayed, which I can't even seem to find anymore, but I still have screenshots from before from a different video, are even a worse show of confusion since they were all vertical and have seemingly even been modified since then. Pre-orders are out of control, seriously. Just make a game, and if you really must sell all the extra stuff, just do two versions. One version is the basic form with the standard game, and the other is a deluxe version that has some cosmetics or whatever, maybe a figurine, you name it, and perhaps the early access if you absolutely can't help yourself. The worst part about all of this is that layered into these convoluted bonuses are things like an exotic AK-47. Now, fanboys might want to argue that this is a skin, but it's not. They list skins explicitly as weapon skins elsewhere in the packages. So what is this? Is this going to be a strong weapon? Does it affect gameplay? Which versions can you get it in? It's not listed on their first giant chart, so you have to scour through and decipher which versions have what on what platform and when you can access it. It's a joke, and the sad part is I actually really like a ton of what I have heard about The Division 2, but this kind of roundabout, overly complicated pre-order garbage is a deterrent for a lot of players. The practice of turning pre-order packages into a puzzle has been going on a lot longer than I initially thought as well. This right here is a chart of the pre-order bonuses for Watch Dogs, which is Ubisoft again, so maybe we're seeing a trend here, but Battlefield 5 had a similar situation, so just kidding, looks like another AAA publisher specialty. Watch Dogs was years ago and already had a confusing and frankly asinine structure of certain bonuses for certain editions that had to be graphed in a spreadsheet to even figure out which editions held what when compared to others. Another sneaky little tidbit for those diehard fans who truly want to have every single thing you can for a game that they have maybe fallen in love with, there is no single version that you can get everything. You must buy multiple versions to get all of the stuff that is offered. They don't even have a version that combines all of it together, and I'm willing to bet that's deliberate because they will make more money and sell more copies that way. This part derails from the pre-order discussion just a little bit and only for a couple minutes here, but remember Fallout 76, how could you not? It had big pre-order bundles with faulty merchandise, etc., but now, months after the fact, they are doing things like monthly t-shirts from the vault, where you can get a different t-shirt every month themed around Fallout. They also offer item after item like leather jackets or Nuka Dark Rum, while simultaneously pushing out a patch for the actual game itself that breaks it even worse than before and appears to be based on an older version of the game. It brought bugs back into the game that they had previously fixed. Like, I'm not kidding, a lot of them. Enough with the figurines, enough with the physical merchandise, enough 3-day early access, or 7-day early access, or 10 hours if you have this service on this platform and this edition with that bonus. Make a game, finish the game, polish the game, release it in a decent state, and then think about a figurine, or a cosmetic pack, or a cool t-shirt. I guarantee players will be far more receptive of purchasing products if they are based around a functional, admired, and appreciated title rather than shoved down their throat before the game's even out or prioritized over the game's literal core functionality. I catch flack for being too negative and other whiny snowflake sentiments, but when a pre-order cycle has different descriptions in multiple places within a publisher's own store, when the items offered are not clearly defined and require hardcore, lengthy investigation to even decipher, you are doing something wrong. Consumers are getting fed up at this point. We can see it clearly with the reaction to Metro Exodus getting shifted by its publisher from Steam to the Epic Store weeks before release. An unfriendly consumer move, but right? Let the series suffer for that extra percentage. We also see it in Anthem, where the good faith for EA is so non-existent, the game is practically already face-planting just by association. We see it everywhere, but these giant companies seem to just not understand, or maybe are willfully ignorant. The concept of pre-ordering used to mean reservation of a physical disc at your local game store, and when I rag on the process of pre-ordering, that's never been my target. When making sure that you have a copy out of a limited number of physical discs for $5 down, a month in advance, or whatever it ends up being, that is totally and completely understandable. The process that needs to die is digital pre-orders, with all these nebulous special bonuses and versions. Kill it. Kill it quickly, because all it's become is a thinly veiled tactic used to corral players into either buying on a certain platform or purchasing a certain service, else they fall behind their friends due to early access, or don't have the strongest items, or can't play on certain maps. It's a series of not only incentives, and this is very, very thinly veiled, and it's hard to decipher, but it's true, it's also punishments for those that do not pay extra. And when paying extra, it's hard to even figure out what special edition is the best one for you because they've polluted the process so much. You can obviously tell I'm passionate about this, but hold on a second, we're going to jump topics here for just a moment. Total transparency here, I want this video to be 10 minutes long, and I'll tell you exactly why. YouTube actually prioritizes videos that are north of 10 minutes in the search algorithm, and average watch time is a massive factor when it comes to a video's rank, if not the most important factor, I would even say. So having a video that is under 10 minutes simply means it will get less views than if it is over 10 minutes, even if the quality or material is identical or of equal value. So because of that, I am going to talk right now just enough so that the video crosses 10 minutes. I could probably make it 20 now that I think about it. I really dislike the current pre-order atmosphere, but 10 will suffice for today. I am hopeful that we can see a few strong titles in 2019 avoid this common trend of constant manipulative pre-order bonus packages, and if they do, I know I'll be supporting them very, very vocally, because if we can send a strong enough message that gameplay and release day polish are far more important than garbage little gimmicks, it will help nudge the industry back towards reason, because lately it's become completely unreasonable. That's probably enough though. I got my juicy 10-minute mark, I think, in the bag. Mission success. If you want to support Upper Echelon, there are a ton of links down below. We have esports merchandise, a Facebook community, Discord community, our own gaming forums, and some other stuff too, but I'll cut it there and I'll stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.